Hello. So, for the next 15 minutes or so, we will carry out some meditative movements or mindful yoga. So, just to give you a brief rationale, I suppose, behind why we would actually do meditative yoga, is that, we're trying to increase the sensitivity to the body because our thinking mind, which is often very preoccupied with planning and worrying, catastrophizing, etc., etc., this all has a very direct and real impact upon the body, particularly as these thoughts generate emotions. And sometimes it isn't until we feel like an intense sensation within the body that we notice it. So if we can catch those signals from our body sooner, we can better regulate ourselves and take care of ourselves and not let emotions or our thoughts, get carried away. So, and we're all familiar with the telltale signs. For example, when the mind is very agitated, you'll often find that your body's quite restless. You can't sit still. You know, uh, you've and then obviously as well, if you're feeling quite stressed, you might feel maybe tension around here or even in your back, or anxious in your stomach. If you're feeling low, depressed, very often we slump. It's like a reflection of how our mind state is. So these are the more extreme examples, but so if we can catch it earlier, all the better. Okay, so that's really the rationale. So my invitation to you, or what I would really suggest would be, what we're trying to do is really tune into the body, into the sensory experience. So coming out of the mind and thinking into the direct experience. Uh, and so watching out for those critical thoughts that we often have, where we're constantly evaluating and judging ourselves. Uh, and it's often when we come to do something like this or we sit in stillness that they become quite dominant. So it's just noticing, there's a bit of judgment and coming back. So being quite gentle with ourselves. This is also about self-compassion. So it's not about striving for achieving certain movements. It's about carrying the movements out in a very open and curious and gentle way. So, okay, so we'll get going and we will just do maybe 4 or 5 movements. Okay. So we'll begin with just some arm elevations. So perhaps just having your feet about hip width apart. I'm in my bare feet, that can be helpful. And perhaps just allowing your eyes to close. Sensing your feet on the ground, sensing the uprightness of the body. And allowing your awareness really to drop down into the feet, into the soles of the feet, so you can really feel your feet on the earth. And just working your way up the body, maybe feeling muscles that are in a stretch, joints that are in a different position maybe to what they were a few moments ago. Really assuming your full space. Arms heavy down by the sides, shoulders dropped, and inviting the belly muscles to soften. Aware of the position of your head, which really should be ideally over your trunk. Just sensing the body standing here, the body breathing, just its own natural flow of breath. And you might just, for this first time that you're doing this, maybe just opening your eyes so you can see what we're doing now. So we're just going to start the movements by just, the first movement is just elevating the arms very slowly up towards the ceiling. And then bringing them down slowly. And you may find just naturally the breath flows out of the body as you come back to the starting position, and then you tend to inhale as you extend upwards. So again, maybe just closing the eyes and just repeating this 5 or 6 times, really slowly, staying with the sensations. Slowing everything down. Now opening your eyes, maybe just stretching those fingers up toward the ceiling, breathing freely and fully. And now the second movement that we'll go into, so we're just going to keep those arms elevated and then just bending at the hips, keeping the knees straight. So your fingers are going to point you down towards your toes, doing that stretch in the back of the legs, and now bending the knees fully and coming up on the in-breath. Bending at the hips, knees straight, giving a stretch of muscles, bending the knees fully, coming up. If your balance allows it, you could close your eyes. But this is purely invitational, so really just listening to your own body, what's wise for you. Coming back to the body sensations, just in case the mind has wandered elsewhere. And the next time you bring your arms down, maybe just linking your fingers, your hands behind your back, and just bring your arms up toward the ceiling. Breathing freely and fully. Releasing the hands and then slowly coming up again. And allowing those arms to float downwards. And just pausing here. Once again, just reconnecting with the ground below. And the space above as well, so that the body is tall. Feeling the breath moving freely. Now placing a slightly bigger gap between your feet and lifting the arms up again, up over your head, and just maybe linking the fingers, and then slowly just bending to one side. Maybe closing the eyes if your balance allows it. Just feel that stretch on one side of the body. Breathing in, coming back to center, in the opposite way. Going back to center. Then just doing that a few more times yourself. So just gently going one way, feeling that stretch down the side of the body. It's really nice for your spine to experience opening up on one side. And then allowing your arms to come down. So even after that, just maybe just loosening up the shoulders a little bit before we move into the next movement. Now bringing the feet a little bit closer together, so maybe the toes are touching. And we're going to do some spinal twists now. So if it's okay for you, closing the eyes. Placing the awareness into the soles of the feet once more. And beginning to very gently twist to, for example, the right, and just feeling that movement as it goes up the body. So the twist of the lower limbs, pelvis, the trunk, chest, the arms, and the head. So you're twisted like a corkscrew, but breathing really freely. Just noticing if there's other parts of the body that are tensing up. They don't need to be tense. Maybe the face, maybe the belly. Breathing, stretching. Now slowly unwinding, so the head, the arms and shoulders, chest, pelvis, lower limbs. Just pausing here. Perhaps now going the opposite direction. All the time breathing, softening, just opening up, exploring what sensations are here. And then unwinding. Nice stretch just after that. Could be just maybe just stretching your right arm up toward the ceilings, stretching up like you're picking a piece of fruit off a tree. Stretching, feeling that stretch through the right side from fingertips right into the tips of your toes. the body weight is shifted predominantly onto the right leg. Coming back to centre, maybe the left arm. Feel the weight shifted over to the left side. Coming back. And just pausing here. And already you may feel a greater attunement or more of a sensitivity to the body, being a little bit more grounded. So opening the eyes, we'll just finish up with some like a balance exercise. So the feet fairly wide apart, up nice and tall, and for this one I would suggest keeping the eyes open. Maybe have your gaze fixed on a point in front of you. Bring your arms out to the sides so you're kind of in a T shape. Shifting the weight over onto one leg, for example your right leg maybe, and the tips of your toes of your left foot are in contact with the floor, and then if you feel it's okay for you, you could lift that foot up. Just aware of maybe where the mind is going into evaluation and judgment, and coming back to just the sensations. This balancing, correcting, beginning again. If you wobble, that's fine. The breath moving very gently and its own natural rhythm. You could even enhance it a little bit by maybe stretching the leg up a little bit more, or moving your arms up over your head, or whatever you want to do. You could, I suppose, explore what happens when you maybe close your eyes in the body, what happens. So really tuning into those sensations. And then coming back, the arms dropping. Pausing, stopping. Softening. Opening the eyes again. Bring your arms up. And shifting the weight over onto the other leg. Into the left leg. The tips of the toes of the right foot in contact with the floor. And that's fine if you want to stay there, or if you want to explore how it would be to lift that foot up. Keeping the balance. Maybe enhancing the stretch. Challenging the balance. Stretching and breathing. Sensing. And coming back. And just resting, having just standing up, just resting in stillness. Maybe moving in any way you need to now, whatever your body is asking for. And I often find that after having done a few movements, it's a lovely way of kind of introducing like a sitting meditation. So before you come to do maybe a sitting meditation, to do a few movements is really, really nice. It just helps to bring the body into contact with the earth, so the body is kind of stable, and if the body is stable, the mind tends to be quite stable. Okay, thank you very much.